that is an acidic wine. But wait. Don't click off, because you see, acidity is actually a really good thing in wine. It's crucial, in fact. So pucker up, because it's time to learn about acidity in wine, what it means, how to detect it, and why we want it. Hi there, I'm Jacqueline for Vero, where we go around the world searching out wild and scarce, hard to find wines to offer private consumers, businesses, and distributors across the United States. Each wine and product in our portfolio is hand-selected, tasted, and evaluated by us. And one of those things that we always judge in a wine is acidity. Because you see, too much acidity isn't pleasant, but neither is too little. It's all about the balance. Acidity is kind of like tough love. It's a necessary element, but too much of it can be a bad thing. In fact, many might say that they prefer sweeter drinks and that they would shy away from overly sour or acidic flavors. If you think of like in warmer months, where a welcome lemonade is often a beverage of choice for many. Yes, the lemonade is sweetened with sugar, but what is truly refreshing in that summer heat is the acidity that comes from the sour lemons. So why is it that often in wine, acidity will get a bad rap? We might even see wine professionals not calling acidity by its real name, instead using words like crisp, fresh, and avoiding terms like acidic or acidity. Yet acidity is not only needed in wine, but it is also a natural component of wine, and it's in the grapes themselves. Some of these that are the most common are acids like tartaric acid, malic acid, and lactic acid, to just name a few. Acidity will begin in the vineyard, where the acids can be found in the grapes. Usually, the levels of acidity will start out really high when we have unripe grape clusters, but then they will slowly fall throughout the ripening period. Weather too will affect acidity. Warmer weather will cause the acidity to lower faster, and this is why places with cooler weather will have a tendency for wines with a higher acidity. There's also, if a winemaker wants to retain a lot of acidity, they will harvest earlier in the season before those acidity levels have a chance to fall. Winemaking processes will affect acid as well. The most famous would be malolactic conversion. Malic acids are converted into lactic acids, giving wines softer mouthfeels and additional aromas of flavors like cream and butter. So now we have a better idea on how acidity gets into the wine. So let's talk about how it will manifest on our palate and how we can evaluate it. When we're tasting wine, we want to feel or judge the acidity through the salivation in our mouths. So take a sip of wine, don't swallow it right away. Let it kind of swirl in your mouth as you think about it. You will begin to notice where you are feeling the prickly poke of acidity. Are you feeling it in the contractions of your jaw muscles? It's a bit obvious to say, but the stronger that puckering sensation, the more acidity the wine will have. Then think about your salivation. Is it immediate and a lot? Or is it more of a slow crescendo? A lot of fast salivation is going to point towards a higher acidity level. But remember, feeling the acidity and noting a lot of salivation is not a bad thing in wine. So why do we want this? Like a whole lot of our discussions in the wine world, we are going to have to talk about balance again. Obviously, too acidic wine, one that you can feel a painful tightening in your jaw muscles, like a sour candy, is not pleasant. However, a wine that is lacking acidity will feel flabby or even overly round. With a balanced wine, we will have acidity, but we will also have fruity notes and sometimes even residual sugar that will help to counteract that sharp prick of acidity. Or even vice versa. A sweet wine with a lot of sugar will need a healthy dose of acidity to balance that sweetness to avoid overpowering and cloying flavors of the sugar. In wine, acidity will also help to lighten the body to some degree, allowing lots of mature fruit flavors, for example, to manifest without becoming overly weighty on our palates and difficult to consume over a long period of time. As we've talked about with food pairing too, there is nothing like a nice, acidic, fresh white wine to pair with a greasy, fried, or fatty dish. That sharp salivation from the acidity will help to cleanse the palate after the greasy dish, leaving you ready for more bites and more sips. The idea of acidity and balance is that we are looking for elements that will cancel each other out, so to speak. We want to leave the palate ready for more without getting fatigued of having that same overpowering flavor again and again and again. And acidity is a crucial part of this, being a counteracting agent to things like the sugary sweetness or rich, thick, full-bodied wines that we talked about earlier. So what are a couple of wines that we can look out for to explore acidity? White wines are a typical choice for acidity lovers, as a lot of white wine grapes can naturally exhibit very high acidity. Glera, for example, used in Prosecco, is one example, and winemakers will often harvest grapes early to maximize that acidity in the light sparkling wine. Lugana from the Turbiana grape grown near Lake Garda will also boast a high acidity, and this also is with help from the region's mild climate that helps to maintain acidity during the ripening. Albana, an ancient grape, is another high acidity variety, prized for golden color and refreshing crispness, whether sweet or dry. We want to look for white wines from cool climates, like from the Czech Republic, where sometimes acidity is so high thanks to that cool weather. Winemakers used to historically have to leave residual sugars in the wine to counteract that rampant acidity. But nowadays, with warming climates, this isn't so much of a problem, and winemakers in the Czech Republic can reliably ripen grapes and maintain a well-balanced acidity. But those wines do give us great examples of how wines with residual sugar might not even seem like they are sweet. It just might be because of that higher acidity. But back to the wines, high acidity isn't actually limited to just white wines, but we see it in red wines too. Barbera, Schioppettino, Nebbiolo are all red grapes with naturally high acidity levels. Aldoclerico's Barbera d'Alba, for example, pairs beautifully with rich, juicy foods. Schioppettino, a grape once nearly forgotten, is now making a comeback and fresh on the acidity scene. And Nebbiolo, from the Langhe in Piedmont, Italy, will artfully blend acidity with tannins while maintaining a nice fruit and subtle spices. Have I got your mouth watering? Not yet. Then you might just need a glass of crisp wine to get it going. I would recommend heading over to the Vero shop on verovino.com to browse our selection of well-balanced wines to find the right level of acidity for you. We can ship to your door, or you can write us for wholesale pricing if you are a business or distributor. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about acidity, I will have linked down below the blog article that we originally published on the Vero blog all about acidity in wine. If you never want to miss another article, update, or new wine release from Vero, I suggest signing up for the Vero newsletter so you will be notified whenever new content and new wines drop. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like below and be sure to subscribe to the channel to never miss a new video. Let us know in the comments, what is your favorite acidic wine to enjoy? I will see you in the next video, which might be this one here, where we talk all about the importance of balance, which, as we saw today, acidity plays a crucial part in. I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.